They told you manifestation was easy. Say it, write it, believe it. It will come. But you tried, didn't you? You whispered affirmations, wrote lists, lit candles, yet still the unseen felt far away. The truth? The unseen cannot be forced. Manifestation is not a bargain with the universe. It is not shouting louder until the stars obey. It is alignment, resonance, alchemy. The old myths of manifestation sell you glitter when what you seek is gold. And here's the unsettling part. The more you chase, the more the unseen slips away. Why? Because you are not meant to chase. You are meant to become. Imagine if everything you seek already exists, waiting not for your demand, but for your readiness. What if the real question is not, how do I get what I want, but how do I become the one who receives it? This is the first unveiling, the breaking of the illusion. And if this is true, then the path ahead will demand something far stranger and far more beautiful than you've ever been told. Stay close. For the next secret is not about forcing the unseen, but about holding it. You are not an engine. You are not a machine built for endless motion. You are a vessel. The empath knows this truth in their bones. Sensitives feel the tremor of a room, the breath of another's grief, the shimmer of unseen possibility. In a world that worships force, the empath is dismissed, but the vessel is not weak. The vessel is sacred. The vessel does not demand, yet rivers find it. The vessel does not chase, yet it is filled. What if manifestation has nothing to do with control and everything to do with capacity? What if the only reason your desires have not arrived is that your vessel was not yet ready to hold them? Pause and ask yourself, are you open or are you sealed? Because a sealed vessel cannot receive. Picture the underground river, always flowing, unseen, waiting to rise. It is there now, beneath you, but it will only fill what dares to remain open. And here lies the empath's test: to remain open in a world that wounds, to hold without breaking, to receive without drowning. Can you? Will you? If so, you step into a mystery deeper still. Because once you open, something ancient stirs, a guardian. And this guardian will not let you pass until you have faced it. Every vessel has a guardian, every threshold a keeper. When you long to receive, what rises first? Fear, doubt. The old wounds that whisper, not for you, this is the shadow. The shadow is not an enemy, it is the serpent at the gate. It coils before the treasure, not to stop you, but to ask if you are ready. And here's the mystery most never hear. The serpent never strikes first. It waits, watching, testing, because the shadow does not block you. It invites you. Your hidden anger, your silenced voice, your unhealed pain, these are not curses. They are keys, but only if you dare to hold them. Only if you dare to see what you once refused to see. Ask yourself now, what have you been running from? That very thing, the wound, the silence, the fear, that is the test. That is the passage. And here lies the secret most seekers never uncover. You cannot manifest light if you refuse the dark. The shadow is not your obstacle. It is your initiation. So will you step closer? Will you look the serpent in the eye? Because if you do, you will find what waits beyond is not terror, but treasure. A figure older than time. A guide who has been waiting in the clearing beneath the moon. The oracle. Beyond the serpent waits silence. Not the silence of absence, but the silence of presence. Thick, alive, shimmering. You step into the clearing. Moonlight spills across the earth like silver fire. And there, seated at the center, veiled and radiant, is the oracle. The oracle does not speak first. She does not rush to explain. She only looks at you, as if she has been waiting since before you were born. And perhaps she has. The oracle is not a fortune teller. She does not hand you predictions wrapped in certainty. No, her gift is stranger, deeper. She awakens what you already know, but have not yet dared to trust. The oracle reveals that manifestation is not about controlling outcomes. It is about listening to whispers that rise from beyond the mind. The unseen speaks always, but only those who are still enough can hear. And here's the unsettling truth. You have heard it before. The quiet nudge, the sudden intuition, the dream that felt too vivid to ignore. How many times have you dismissed it? How many times have you doubted, only to realize later you knew? The oracle waits for those who will finally listen. At her feet rests a chalice glowing faintly. Not of gold, not of stone. Something older, something fluid, shifting as you gaze at it. This is the Grail. Every myth speaks of it, yet no two seekers describe it the same. For the Grail is not an object, it is a mirror. It shows you the shape of what you are ready to receive. You lean closer, breath trembling. Within its surface, you glimpse flickers of your longings. Love, freedom, creation, belonging. They shimmer just out of reach. And then the Grail shifts. It shows not your desires, but you. Not who you are now, but who you must become to hold them. You recoil because the truth is this. The Grail does not promise what you want. It shows you what is required. And that is far more dangerous, far more beautiful. Finally, the oracle's voice breaks the silence. It is not loud. It does not need to be. It arrives like wind moving through leaves, like water running over stone. She says, "You do not summon the unseen. You attune to it. You do not force the Grail to fill. You become the Grail. And when you are ready, what is meant for you cannot help but arrive." You shiver, because in that moment, you know it is true. Ask yourself, what has the Grail been showing you all along, in your dreams, your synchronicities, your whispers of intuition? Are you willing to stop dismissing them as accidents? What if the unseen has been calling you every day of your life, and you've been too busy to answer? And perhaps the hardest question of all, are you ready to become the one who can hold what you long for? The oracle does not give answers. She awakens the answers in you. The Grail does not hand you desires. It reveals the self you must become. Manifestation is not forcing dreams into matter. It is becoming the vessel in which they appear. Say it softly inside. I am the Grail. I am the vessel. I am the unseen made visible. Here is what most seekers will not tell you. The Grail is endless. When you drink from it, it does not empty. When you become it, you discover more within than you thought possible. But the Grail is also merciless. It will not lie to you. It shows you both your light and your shadow. And only if you accept both can it fill you. This is why the oracle waits, because not everyone is ready to see. The oracle sits in silence once more. The Grail shimmers at her feet. You feel a stirring in your chest. Fear, yes, but also wonder. You realize now, manifestation is not about asking the universe to change. It is about being changed yourself. But how? How does this change take place? How does the unseen move from whisper to reality, from vision to form? For that, you must look beyond yourself. You must see the web that holds you. the field in which all things are woven. They told you your life was a solo act, your thoughts, your will, your manifestation. But listen closely. Even your breath is a conversation. In, out, a covenant with leaves you will never see, myth to break. Manifestation is not a private sport. Deeper truth, it is a chorus, a field, a living web that hums with every being's longing. You see, nothing arrives alone. Nothing leaves alone. Everything travels by thread. The field reveals itself. Imagine the world beneath the world. A lattice of luminous threads running under cities and oceans, through cedar roots and thunderclouds, through the bones of ancestors and the wrists of newborns. When you speak a desire, the filament of your voice vibrates along this lattice. It doesn't vanish. It travels. It calls and it answers. It meets the tones of 10,000 other lives and finds the chord that can hold you all. This is the collective field. Not a metaphor, a presence, a listening, a law. What if the delay you call blockage is the field tuning for harmony? What if the detours that broke your timeline were the field protecting you from a wish not yet tempered, from a door that would have shut behind you forever, from a version of you that could not carry the Grail? Pause. Feel into it. When the field rearranged you, didn't something quiet in you whisper, "Not this, not yet, not like that"? You knew. The field knew. The timing had to ripen. You have to understand the weaver, the thread, and the loom. The weaver, that elder presence, faceless and kind, who sits beyond time and touches everything with patient hands. She wastes nothing. She ties your grief to someone else's courage and calls it a bridge. The thread, that is you. Your colors are unlike any other. Your tensile strength comes not from isolation, but from the knots where you've been tied to others. The loom, the humming framework of reality, the pattern that holds. It will not break for your haste. It refuses to hurry your becoming. Here is the uncomfortable grace. The field does not prioritize speed. It prioritizes coherence. So, ask the more sacred question. How do I become coherent with the field? Close your eyes and feel the hall of threads. You stand inside a vast hall where the ceiling is night and the stars are spindles. The weaver sits at the far end, neither young nor old, her hands moving like moonlit water. She beckons. Before you, a river of threads glides by, bright, dim, frayed, newly spun. You recognize some by feel alone, a friend's laughter, your mother's unfinished prayer, the cool thread of a pine forest that once saved you. Then you see it, your thread, the exact hue of your secret name. The weaver lifts it gently. It shines. It trembles at your touch. But when you pull too hard, it thins, and other threads strain. When you slacken in fear, it tangles. The weaver nods toward your chest. Hold here, her eyes say. Not with fists, with breath. You inhale. You let the thread lie on your open palms. The whole loom answers. The star spindles hum. The river-bright threads slack and tighten. The pattern settles into a low, resonant yes. This is how the field speaks. Not in words, but in felt rightness, in resonance, in clicks that sound like destiny remembering itself. Manifestation in the field is not getting what I want. It is becoming trustworthy of what wants me. The field asks 3 questions each time you call. Is your desire rooted in aliveness or in fear? Can your vessel carry this without splitting? Does this add to the weave? If fear shouts, the field waits. If your vessel wobbles, the field strengthens you first. If your wish tears other threads, the field reroutes. with a detour that feels like loss and ends up being mercy. Curious yet? Notice how the no's of your past were often doors that rehung themselves as not yet or not like this. Notice how the yes that finally came fit your hands like a memory. Offer, don't grab. The old spell was grasping, clutch and claim. The new spell is offering, give the field a shape to fill. Offer your work as a prayer. Offer your mourning as a bowl. Offer your longing with the humility of ocean tide. It comes in, it goes out, and both are holy. Offerings return multiplied because the field loves circulation. What you keep in fear stagnates. What you place on the altar of the day becomes weather, becomes rain, becomes fruit you never planned to eat. You do not manifest alone, you manifest with. You do not bend the field, you tune to it. You do not hoard, you offer, and the web remembers you. Say it within. I am a thread among threads. My yes is a cord. My life is a bridge. Say it again, slower. I tune. I offer. I receive. And once more, like a bell in fog, not mine alone, ours. When you ask, listen for the answering tone, not a sentence, a sensation, warm, widening, grounded. If it is sharp, shrinking, frantic, wait. The field is still tuning. When envy flares, bless the other thread. Say, may your color deepen, may your strength hold. Paradoxically, your own hue brightens. The field likes generous electricity. When you don't know the next step, ask the field for a small, coherent move. One stitch that holds. The loom loves fidelity more than drama. You see, coherence is devotion over time. You feel it now, don't you? The low hum beneath your ribs, the echo of a chorus you belong to. You are not an isolated spark trying to light a sky. You are a constellation learning its pattern. The oracle's Grail in your chest. The serpent now a coiled ally at your feet. The weaver's hands somewhere beyond your shoulder. This is not fantasy. This is participation. And the question rises like dawn. If the field has said yes, if the web is humming in your favor, what do you do now? You do not wait for lightning. You step into ritual. You become the vow. Stay with me. We will cross the threshold together, breath by breath, word by word, into a living rite you can perform today. The opening, the offering, the binding of your thread to a future that already recognizes your name. Let me explain the ritual of becoming in 4 movements. 1. The threshold. You stand where paths converge. Behind you, the myths of forcing, of chasing, of glitter spells that never held. Beside you, the vessel you have become, porous, steady, ready. At your feet, the serpent coils, no longer foe but guardian. Above you, the oracle waits, veiled, her silence deeper than words. Around you, the threads hum, the collective field singing your place. And before you, an invisible line, the threshold. Every seeker arrives here. Not all step across. Some turn back, afraid of what they must release. Some linger, waiting for more certainty. But the unseen does not yield to hesitation. So the question is whispered into your chest. Will you step? Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Now 2. The fire to cross. You must surrender what cannot pass through flame. The oracle gestures, and before you rises a fire, not consuming, but clarifying. You feel the heat on your skin. You know what it asks. Every false mask, every brittle story, every wound you've worshipped as truth. They must burn. Hold them in your hands. The old belief of unworthiness, the fear of being too much, the silence you learned as survival. See them for what they are. Husks, not essence. Offer them to the fire, and as you do, watch how they do not scream. They sigh, relieved, released, turning to smoke that curls upward like prayer. The fire does not destroy you, it reveals you. You step closer and closer until you realize the fire is not outside, it is in you. It has always been. 3. The becoming. On the other side of flame, you emerge changed. Not new, remembered. Your vessel gleams, whole. The serpent bows its head. The oracle smiles, the first hint of dawn breaking across her face. The weaver hums, knotting your thread into a larger song. And in your chest, the Grail. You lift it, trembling. You see not just your desires shimmering within, but the you who can hold them. Not desperate, not chasing, resonant, aligned. Here at last you speak your vow, not with force, but with stillness that carries the weight of worlds. I am the vessel. I am the Grail. I am the unseen made manifest. Repeat it slowly, like a bell that rings through marrow. I am the vessel. I am the Grail. I am the unseen made manifest. And once more, softer, as the fire inside you steadies into warmth, I am. 4. The return. The ritual is not escape. It is return. You do not remain in the forest clearing, cloaked in moonlight forever. You carry the light back into the marketplace of voices, back into the world of noise and time. But now, you are different. You no longer chase glitter. You drink gold. You no longer beg the unseen. You embody it. You no longer fear the shadow. You walk with it as ally. You are vessel, grail, thread. You are river, serpent, oracle. You are the unseen in human skin, and the world will feel it. People will not know why they are drawn to you, why they soften in your presence, why doors open without you knocking. They will not understand, but you will. Because you crossed the threshold, because you burned in the fire, because you became. These are the 4 movements. So take a breath. Let it echo like the first breath of creation. Place your hands over your chest where the Grail glows, and say, not as a wish, but as a vow, I tune, I offer, I receive, I am ready, I am aligned, I am the unseen made manifest. Carry this vow with you, and watch, the field will answer, the oracle will smile, the Grail will overflow, for the ritual is done, and you, seeker, are no longer seeking, you have become.